This is the L.I.P. Extra. Hey there, I'm Ryan from Positive Athlete, here with another awesome episode of the L.I.P. Extra. Today's subject is leading student athletes, and our host, Scott Pearson, caught up with Kit Cummings, an author and founder of the Power of Peace Project, to discuss this very important topic. We know that as coaches and teachers, you can experience many types of student athletes from a whole host of different backgrounds. As the world changes around us, it's important to understand the challenges they face, what's important to them, and how they can view the world in order to lead them properly. Our guest, Kit Cummings, is an expert in this area and has some great insight for you today. So let's jump into episode 3 of the L.I.P. Extra.
We're joined by the Power of Peace Project founder, Kit Cummings, who has been doing this for quite a while now. And Kit, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
So can you give us a little bit of an overview of what the Power of Peace Project actually is?
Absolutely. We work in schools primarily now, and with the current culture that we have in schools, and we see it right now on the streets of America, there's a lot of threats these kids are facing. So basically what we do is we teach kids to have big dreams. And, we might just assume that young people know how to dream, but we hadn't really taught them. And so we teach them to get a big dream, bigger than themselves, that has the ability to pull them through the things that are getting kids in a lot of trouble. So if you give me a kid that's got a big dream, he's going to be smart on a Friday night because he's got something to protect. Show me a kid that's got no dream and he's like, whatever's bright and shiny gets his attention and holds it. So that's the thrust of it. Our Protect the Dream program is trying to teach them to really build a roadmap to where they say they want to go.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of being able to sit in on some of your sessions, and one of the things I found really impactful was your conversations with them about dream killers and the type of things that young people are facing and the things that they need to be protecting.
Right. Yeah, we protect things that have value. So the first thing, you ask a kid if they're going to take care of this thing today, and I guarantee you they'll keep this thing charged up. They'll keep a protector on it. They'll keep it on their person. They protect that device because it's their whole world. And so in the same way, we protect things that are valuable to us. And so the thinking is, if you get a big dream, it could be an athlete we're working with that wants a D1 scholarship, or it could be a kid that just wants to graduate, or maybe go to college, might be the first one that has, or somebody that wants to go on the mission field or be an entrepreneur, whatever it is, just a big dream. But then once they have that dream, we teach them to protect it. Now the dream killers, we call them the 7 dream killers. There's obviously more, but think about the typical high school. Here are the things that we address: irresponsible social media. And so it's not just be careful what you post, a recruiter might see it. It's learn how to use your influence in a way that's going to take you to your dreams. And so that we teach them responsible social media use and how you can strengthen your power through it. Disrespect of authorities. We do a lot of things teaching cops and kids, not teaching the cops, getting cops and kids to come together, because we're seeing a bigger divide. So we bring officers into our program and help them become real to the kids. Drug and alcohol abuse, huge. We've got an epidemic, especially with prescription medications. And so we really get down there, and in each of these dream killers, we show the kids 10 years down the line, what does this look like if you don't deal with it now? Objectification of classmates, how the young boys treat young girls, in this new culture. So we teach them that it might be funny to call them this and that, or to make fun or post pictures. It's funny when you're 17. At 27, we call that divorce, Drug and alcohol, it's fun to kind of drink and smoke weed and a little Xanax at 17. At 27, we call that rehab. We really talk about these things. Lowering scholastic standards, dream killer. If you don't learn how to sacrifice for your grades and invest in yourself, that can be the end. Unhealthy relationships, who you partner up with when you get to college. That freshman year is so important of who your friend groups are. So these are the things that we're trying to protect them from, things that are going to kill. Obviously, bullying is a huge one. They don't even like that word, so I use haters. If you hang with the haters, you become a hater. You become a hater, and guess what? I meet you in 10 years, you're not going to like your life. So we're trying to get them project into the future what they want And then we teach them good, healthy accountability and how to get there, get on the right path.
As you start working with the kids, when do you see the light usually go on with these kids? Is it a few weeks into it or right away? When do you see the kids really start responding?
I get them first time. At least that's my goal. It's like I want to get them. And so we've got some ways. I don't know. I relate to the kids in a way that they're not used to from grown folks. And so I get on their level. I ask a lot of questions. I tell them things they already know, and that trips them out to hear an older guy telling them things that they're like, whoa, he's not supposed to know that. And so I poll them, I listen to them, we get them involved in the conversation. Teach me what you wish your parents knew about your generation. So there's a cool, vibe between us, but also where the Power Peace Project started, it gets their attention and holds it. It's edgy, so I think they love the history of the Power Peace Project too. So we catch them pretty much first time. I tell the administrators, principal, superintendent, whatever, get the kids that we want to be in that room, Breakfast Club, influencer, leader kids, and then tell them it's voluntary after that come one time, and if they don't want to be a part of it, don't come back, and we don't lose anybody.
You mentioned the roots of this program and where it started. Talk a little bit about that, because it's very interesting and it actually really does catch their attention.
Well, if you think about it, their whole world is, hip hop, gangster, and their music and their videos and their games. It glorifies this dark world. And I think when we were kids, maybe it was cops and robbers, doing whatever we were doing. But now they've seen that world. They've played the games, listened to music, watched the movies. So it's that hip hop, gangster world. Well, this thing, interestingly enough, started in prisons. I started serving in prisons just as a ministry to give back. And I got wrapped up in it, and I started creating my programs. So in the prisons, what I became known for is working with rival gangs in a prison environment and teaching them how to work together peacefully so that they can create a better life for themselves. And we teach the inmates to have a big dream and protect it and learn to work with their rivals so that they can come home sooner, not go back, have a peaceful life when they're in there. And it worked. And so it worked so well that I kind of developed a program in the high schools. I said, who are my gang leaders? My football players, my basketball players, my cheerleaders, my drum major, my ROTC leader, the student class president, the performing arts super stud, whatever it is. Those are the leaders and the influencers. If I can teach them how to get along, they'll influence the whole student population. And so, but that, I didn't want to give it away because we were going there, but man, when I showed them pictures in that first, time together, and they see real prison gangsters all together with their enemies, doing peace signs and working together, it blows their mind and it takes away excuses, but it also gives them a reason to really like it. It's like, man, that was cool. I want to go back to that. But then we teach them the principles.
You've, and not only in the prisons, but you've traveled all around the world and had a lot of experiences with a lot of different people. And one of the stories I love, and I'd love for you to tell, is the story of Roots. And I'm not going to spoil it because I'll spoil it. So I'm going to let you just tell that story, and it's because it's really impactful.
I will. And part of Roots' journey, is Tijuana, Mexico was significant, especially for the positive athlete. We're great partners. I love what you do because we work with athletes and try to change school culture, as you do too. But I did some work in Tijuana, Mexico extensively in 2016, a little bit of 2017, went down there a lot. And worked with a little soccer club and saw these kids taken off the streets and away from the cartels, and their soccer team became a family. And the little boys protected the little girls from being kidnapped. And so you had a soccer team, and the boys walk the girls home, get them inside, and then run. And I mean, it's just this beautiful thing. And I when I was down there, I came up with the idea for Protect the Dream. These little boys are being taught to protect the dreams of these little girls and for one another. And I got on a plane and started thinking about it, and it became this book called Protect the Dream. But one of the things that the kids love is, this is Roots. Scott just mentioned, my partner Roots right here. kids love Roots. I walk down the halls and they'll yell Roots. I'll be on a football field, on the sideline. Players come out, want to touch it, but basically, it's a stick, but it's been fancied up a bit. But the reason Roots is so popular is because of his story. You see, we live in a world where we judge people based on the outside, especially young people. We all did, and they still do, but we didn't have social media. And so if you looked at this, man, he's a piece of art. Where'd you buy that art? Well, it was made for me by a homeless man named Roots. And we became friends on the streets down in Atlanta, serving together. I'd helped him out a little bit. We became friends. And he wanted me to have a stick because he felt like I was in danger. And he said, "Brother Kit, you need a stick, man. This is dangerous streets." And so I said, "Well, hook me up, bro." And so about a week later, he comes back with this. Now it's been, painted up a bit since Brother Roots gave it to me, but he put his heart and soul into finding this and chopping it and shaving it and shellacking it and painting it, and he gave it to it just for me. And if that was it, that would be plenty. But I started to think about the story of this branch, and nobody ever sees a branch. They see the final product, and the branch is the journey. So I think about Roots being at the top of a 100-year-old oak tree downtown Atlanta, living the life of his dreams, and then a storm comes through, a lightning strike, or maybe they take down the tree. And all of a sudden this branch, this nasty branch, has now become trash, because that's what branches are once they fall out of the tree, is trash, basically. But one homeless man named Roots, he saw something that had not yet become, and he saw what that nasty branch could be. And he gave it to me, and it went on a world tour. So the story of Roots is about the branch that got knocked out of his life and was destined to be burned. Somebody saw him, and he became an instrument of peace. And so now I hold him up in front of crowds of kids, gyms filled, and I say, "What's his name?" And they yell Roots. And I go into prisons and I say, "What's his name?" They yell Roots. And I say, "What's he mean?" And they say, "Potential." So this is what's hiding inside of every one of these young people. It's who they could be if somebody saw them for who they really were and loved them and prepared them for the world. Then they can go on a world tour. But we got to see them, and they're hurting right now. Even the ones that we think are so popular and pretty, they feel like the ugly branch, and they're trying so hard. So that's what we do, is we pick up branches and we give them a dream, and then we help them become everything that they need to be. And then they go and they hopefully become the leaders we need in this world, Scott.
Kit, we just appreciate you so much and what you do for our schools and the message that you're giving these kids. And I, like I said, I've been fortunate to be able to sit in on some of your sessions, and I see the kids light up. I see the kids identify themselves with Roots because they probably have felt like trash at some point in their life. Kit, if a school wanted to get in touch with you or was interested in having you bring the POP program to their school, how would they do that?
Real easy to find. So you can go to kitcummings.com. If you want to check out the Power of Peace Project, just go to powerofpeaceproject.com. But Facebook, just kind of find us and reach out. But I would love, we're looking to talk to schools. And this is something, I'll leave you with this, is it's not just, we work with some athletes. We build a student organization. We call it the POP Club, POPP, Power of Peace Project. And these are kids from all the different peer groups. We teach them to work together and get along, just like we did in the prisons. And they become a family. And now that school has a working, breathing organization meant to eradicate dream killers and help kids come together. And so, principals and superintendents and coaches are looking for things to help bring kids together. And so, we found something that works.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck and love partnering with POP and Kit and make sure to go out and support him and what they're doing. It's just a fantastic project. Thanks so much, Kit.
And I'm a bulldog, so tell Hines Ward he's still my guy. He's still my guy. Love you, Scott. Thank you for what you're doing.